Hello and welcome back to the Please Suck Less podcast. I'm getting better. It's been less than a month since I put the last one out. I try to do it every 2 weeks. So I'm actually doing pretty good. A couple of things, actually, three things I want to talk about today. The first thing is talking about cell phone usage. I know that everybody has a cell phone in their hand or in their pocket. When you're at work or even when you're at the volunteer firehouse, I don't want to say it angers me, but to see just people constantly just doom scrolling on their cell phones, looking at, TikTok or whatever, Instagram, that's fine on your personal time. But when you're at the firehouse, you should be somewhat engaged being at the firehouse, especially if you are a younger person. There's so much that you have to learn. If you're an older person and you're ignoring those younger people that are coming in by looking at your phone, you're doing a disservice. You might as well not even be at the firehouse. I mean, yeah, the bells will go off, you'll run a call or whatever, but we're missing a great opportunity to be teaching the next generation of people coming up, as well as honing your skills as a senior member. So the phones that are in the hand, I'm constantly seeing it. They're looking through, just constantly scrolling, looking at stuff and likes and all that stuff. I mean, that's great when you're at home. If you're ignoring your husband, your wife, your significant other, your kids, that's on you. But you can't just ignore what's going on at the firehouse. We became firefighters for a reason, whether you're doing it for a career or you're doing it for a volunteer. Ultimately, we're here to serve the citizens. We're here to make sure that even though our job comes with a ton of risks, we need to be the best that we can be to make sure that we do go home for just to see our families, but also to make sure that, our fellow firefighters go home as well. If you're constantly scrolling on your phone, whether you're there for duty night or whatever, that's a missed opportunity to be doing some type of training. So just the constant, they call it doom scrolling or whatever, going through your phone, put the phone down. When you're at dinner, put the phone down, especially at the firehouse. That's the time where you break bread, bust balls, kind of unwind from the day. Whether you're a career volunteer, it doesn't matter. When you're at the firehouse, if you're just sitting around on the couch, TV going on, you're looking at your phone, you're not paying attention to anything other than, hoping that a call comes in, and you're just looking at your phone, again, you're missing prime opportunity to train. And believe me, it doesn't matter if you run, 3,000 calls a year or 300 calls a year. There's always room to improve our skills. Tony Tricarico, good friend of mine, he used to say, train until you can't get it wrong, not train until you get it right. Train until you can't get it wrong. The only way you can achieve that level of expertise is to be continually training. 45-minute drill, 30-minute drill, it doesn't matter. Put the phone down for that 35 to 40 minutes. Go grab a Halligan bar, grab a set of irons, talk about conventional forcible entry, pull your fire engines out on the apron, practice pulling attack lines, practice pulling attack lines to a door, getting down on your knee, getting your SCBA on, getting ready to go inside. That's bread and butter skills that you should be able to accomplish quickly. That's what we're there to do. Ladders, most, if not all fire engines have ladders. Even if you don't have a ladder truck in your firehouse, pull the fire engine out. Grab your straight ladders or your extension ladders, your roof ladders, whatever. Practice throwing one man, two man. If you're a volunteer company and you don't have a lot of manpower that comes out right away, maybe you have to throw a 35-foot ladder. Practice doing that with two people. Practice doing it with one person. Figure out techniques. But you looking at your phone, unless you're specifically looking at your phone to find out a question about a drill that you want to go do, other than that, man, that shit can wait. Break bread with your brothers and sisters of the fire in the fire. Put the phone down when you're there. Train. Let them know that training is important. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. I'm not going to beat that dead horse. Moving on. Politics. Oh my God. We are so polarized in this country right now. At best, leave politics out of the firehouse. Whether you're a hardcore union member or hardcore conservative, hardcore Democrat, it doesn't matter. Leave politics at the doorstep. When you go in, you're firefighters. It doesn't matter who you vote for. It doesn't matter what you believe in. It doesn't matter if you don't agree with this side or that side. It doesn't matter. When you're in the fire department, you are there for each other. So leave politics out of the firehouse. I would even go so far as don't watch the national news cable channels. If somebody's not going to want to watch CNN or Fox or MSNBC or whatever, watch your local news so you can see what's going on in the neighborhood. Read the paper, whatever. But leave politics out of the firehouse. We're so polarized in this country. We can't have that in the fire service. There's no way that you should be questioning the intentions of your fellow brothers and sisters. If they have your back when there's an emergency, based on your political beliefs. That's just something that that thought should never run through your head. So leave politics out of the firehouse. Leave it at the doorstep. It's too divisive right now. And yes, I understand that most firefighters, we have that critical thinking skills. We can push aside things and focus on what we need to focus on in the fire department. But the way things are going right now, just leave politics out of the firehouse. Come to the firehouse, train, making sure that each person that rides that fire apparatus knows what they're doing when the bells go off and you head out the door. That's the most important thing. Politics will always be there. Let that be your safe space. Let that be your safe haven. Going into the firehouse where you just don't have to think about the blue or the red or any of the other BS that's happening in the world right now. Your whole world when you're at the firehouse should be the fire department. And then lastly, when you're in the fire department, it doesn't matter if you're the chief, if you're a line officer, if you're just a buck private, create a culture of training in the fire department. What does that mean? Well, we always throw this word culture. We got to change the culture. We got to do this with the culture. Creating a culture of training means that anytime you walk into that firehouse, some type of training should be happening. Whether you're volunteers or career, it doesn't matter. When you walk into that firehouse, you should expect some sort of training happening. If there's 2 members there, some type of training should be happening, whether it's pulling lines, throwing ladders, search and rescue, speed drills, getting your gear on, getting your SCBA on, resetting and doing it all over again. Those are our core skills. Like I said earlier, those are our bread and butter skills. So we should be practice, practice, practice. So we're perfect. So when we go out the door, we're serving our citizens correctly. So create that culture of learning, that culture of training. If you're a chief officer, that should be what's on your agenda for your firefighters. The budget, bills, all that stuff will always be there. But that training component, you need to make sure you're drilling it into their heads. When you're at the firehouse, I need you to do some sort of training. Career people, you should have at least 1 hour long training session per shift. The more, the better. And for you officers, don't feel that you're the one that always has to do the training. Empower your people, your firefighters, your senior drivers and that to come up with some training and to lead some training. That's how you kind of bring your people up. But that's what it's all about. If we're sitting at the firehouse and we're doom scrolling through our phones and we're not paying attention to what's going on in the fire service itself, or we're constantly bitching about politics and the president or Congress or local politics or whatever, then we're truly missing out on the opportunity, wasting the opportunity to be able to go out, grab a set of irons, grab your turnout gear, grab a ladder, pull a line, do speed drills, go out on the fire engine, learn your area, learn where your hydrants are, your water supply, maybe rural water supply, stuff like that. That is what it's all about. That's what the fire service is all about. Stay off your phone. Keep politics out in the parking lot. When you walk into the firehouse, it shouldn't be there. Create that culture of learning. Remember, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your fellow firefighters, your family, and the citizens. Do better, suck less. I'm out.